Good morning and welcome to another edition of Roadhouse Last Call. Roadhouse Last Call. Ender, how are you, sir?
Good morning.
He says, good morning.
Keep it
All
simple.
right. Simple. Simple, simple.
I mean, you're not talking about the stuffs and whatnots and things, so I'm just gonna say
Yeah,
good
I'm
morning.
not I'm not into the whatnots.
Okay.
I'm really not into the whatnots at this point. I don't know what it is. There's something off. For me to completely overlook such as and whatnots on the same day is difficult. Difficult for me to comprehend. I think I should take another several days off because of this. Um, I think until I get such as and whatnots under control, I'm going to have to take more time off. I think that's something that must be done. Um, okay, so overnight, data was data. Coming into today, we were looking at a couple of different things, at least from my standpoint, that was absolutely imperative that we recognize. So if we go back and we kind of look at the dollar, and the dollar is really, one of the very few through lines in all of this shenaniganery. It broke out at this 110 level back in, what was this, mid-September-ish, something like that, early September. It broke out, right? And we had that monster spike, Fed going ballistic, all that kind of stuff. So we peaked out and then we started giving back a little bit. Data started softening a little bit. And we came down, and then yesterday we talked about the need for it to crack through that 110 level. Yesterday, towards the end of the day, it did touch that 110 level and it bounced, and we are back over 111 now. That bounce over 111 came on the heels of good jobs data, payroll data. They came in. It was good, better than expected. Not what the bear pedos want, but well, exactly. Well, I don't know. Hard to say with the bear pedo, but the concept that that the job market is still healthy gives the Fed more room in order to act like they're acting. So this 111 level needs to reject and through here. Otherwise, we most definitely get up there and start playing with 111.50. I am still of a strong belief that there is going to have to be some pretty significant data and or a catalyst to crack us underneath that 110 level on the dollar. That makes everything, at least from my opinion and standpoint, kind of masturbatory within the market until that is released, because we can easily, if we get one, maybe two more data points that are, strong for the dollar, which means that they're good for the economy, we can be back up there talking about that 114 level again, which means we're going to be flushed right back down to the toilet. That's that component that I'm looking at. That has probably been, for me at least, the most important one that I've been looking at. Probably insane what's going on over there. So that's what we're looking at. The only thing that we have going on today, we do have a Fed speaker specifically speaking about inflation. They come on after market closes. So market closes, whatever's going to happen off of this speech is going to happen. We do get additional data this morning also. We get PMI and ISM data, which again can have a direct impact on the dollar and inflation. So that's what I got, Bender. These are the areas that really it's important that we stay underneath this 111 on the dollar futures. It's important that ultimately we crash that 110 level. But a lot of that is going to have to come from a little bit of either extreme weakness in our economic data, which has its own problems, or strength in global data. I don't know. It's like fucking cheering for the Browns, I guess. Um, like maybe they can win, maybe not. So what do you got, buddy?
All right. Well, thank you for that. We're currently sitting, let's see, 37.66 half. We just have rallied for 2 days, so we're now into day 3. So we kind of know what that means. Um, dumb money. Uh, and it's Data Killing Wednesday, so kind of expecting, the possibility that we get some chop, or they burn the premium out of these contracts. That said, as far as levels of support and resistance go, just below at 37.60, so we're currently at 66, 65 half now. Just below at 37.59, we got the 89 TMA on the weekly. That's a line to watch for. See what we do with it in this area. Outside of that, 37.64, previous level of support. I'll show that on the chart. Below that, 37.38 is the 50 MA on the 60 minute. And 37.25 to 30 was previous resistance. See if we can use that for support if we get down there. I want to point out that between about 3700 and 3740, given we've only had a couple of days, in the month, obviously, but this chart I'm posting just kind of shows the volume that's taken place, in that area, 3700 to 3740. So we did have some volume in there on Monday, but that volume kind of stopped at 3700, and then it's pretty thin, right? So that's be aware of that, because a lot of time, if we break below 3740, then 3700 could come pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to point that out. And then below 3700, well, I guess we'll talk more about that if we get there, but you got the 5 MA on the daily is just below that, 36.85. As far as levels above, you got 37.84 is the 20 MA on the 60 minute. Obviously the round number 3800, which acted as resistance yesterday. If we can get above 3800, then I look for 3822, previous level of interest, 3836, previous support and resistance, and then if we get above that, I'll share some more lines. But I'm kind of looking at, the bigger picture on the day. I'll look for that opening range, that first 15 minutes, and see what we do. I am expecting, the possibility that we get some chop. But I think, if we come down and test 37.40, I would look for a bounce in there, 37.35 to 37.40. If we splash that and get below, say, 37.20, then you target 3700.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I'd be looking at for a play. On the flip side, I think if we get back above 3780, then we can look for 3800 to 3810 and take it from there.
No, that makes it, the volume piece that you talked about, as far as it being thin down around, you said 3700, makes a lot of sense. If I'm sitting here looking at some of the pieces that we get to deal with in the first, a couple hours, so this is kind of how I walk through, and was definitely looking at the ES chart and looking at SPY at the same time when I was kind of cutting through all this. We got a dark pool this morning on SQQQ coming in at 5166. That was a bottoming dark pool. So that 5166 on SQQQ has to be on watch, as does this other one, probably about 5657, that came in a couple of days ago to act as a ceiling, if you will. The reason why I bring this up is SQQQ, its flow has been very, very telling as far as market move. It's, if you get confused sometimes, looking at SPY or looking at Q, sometimes it's okay to take a look at an SQQQ or an SOXS just to give yourself an idea of what that inverse chart kind of looks like from a reverse bull standpoint. I would suggest doing that if you're confused going into a trade, and you're not real sure. Just check that to see what is it flagging in some capacity. Where is it at? Is it oversold on the shorter time frames? Take a look at that. The biggest piece, again, once again, is going to be the dollar, and we do have that data coming out both 15 minutes after open and 30 minutes after open. It is a data dump for that kind of stuff, which will have a direct impact on the dollar. We also get crude inventories 30 minutes after open today. So there is stuff. It's like, look, it's like if we're playing gun to head bender based on what you're saying, based on a couple of other things. So we're down. We need a little pullback after having a couple of really, really solid days within the market. You're telling me that that 3,700 area is thin on volume. Makes sense to bounce there based on data. So let's say they bleed it out. Data comes out. They rocket it back up. And then at the end of the day, we look at the chart. It's like, oh, look, we had an inside day.
We didn't go anywhere. Yeah.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the setup is there in a lot of ways. But again, it's say it's going to be data dependent. If these numbers, PMI and ISM, come in too hot, the dollar's going to fucking go. And we're going to crack 3,700 and be back in the depths of hell all over again.
Yeah.
It's like that dollar is, look, even if the dollar will sit here and consolidate between 110 and 111 for a couple of weeks, it gives everything an opportunity to build structure to make a move, right?
Yep.
If not, then we're back here playing the same game saying, wow, is 3,500 going to hold?
Right.
Are we going down to 2,800? What are we doing? What are we doing? Are we, again, data. It's like, and dollar reaction to it has to be something that we pay attention to. Can't say it enough. Stockington, what you got there, big boy?
Hello, I'm here. All right.
Well, that's a start.
Step one.
Yeah.
Achieved.
Checked.
All right. Well, I'm already winning. Okay, we drifted down a little bit. So
I really want to be Stockington for a day. I really, really do. I want to live inside of that head. Just be like, I'm here, which means I'm winning. This is good. This is good. We get an ice cream cone. Okay, ice cream cone. This is a good ice cream cone. Okay, sorry.
Hey, life tip: can't eat ice cream every day. That'll be my secondary contribution. But yes, fun life. Okay. We drifted down a little bit, so I put out some new triggers. Let's see. So Tesla's put trigger becomes the call trigger, which was also pre-market resistance. So there's a line at 248.3. And there's a dark pool below that came in the other day. That came in on Monday. 242.4 was $229 million sitting on that line. So we're going to drift down. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that for potential short on Tesla. Then the long was the 248.3. Let's see. NVIDIA, similar. Put trigger becomes the call trigger. 130.95 where I'd be looking to take NVIDIA long. And then NVIDIA is coming down to a smaller dark pool that has shown its importance this week. That's at 129.29. So that's what I'll be watching on NVIDIA. Microsoft, I have this line up here at 247.45. Be looking to take Microsoft long if we can break above that and hold. And then downside, I'd be looking at this dark pool from back on September 16th, 244.74. There's $362 million sitting right there. I was in the office yesterday and was kind of dropping in these. Someone was in kind of sneaky with these big Microsoft calls that they were kind of tacking into. Those are out to November, but they were hitting Microsoft with some decent money to the upside. So definitely going to be interested to see on how that plays out. And then just the message that popped in right above where I put my new watch list triggers. FedEx. So FedEx, they hit with 64% daily volume last night at 159.12. So I'd set an alert. Yeah, it's just massive line on FedEx. So just can't really ignore it. I'm gonna be watching
I'm
that.
sorry, what was the number again?
159.12 is where they hit it. There's
Okay, so
447
close.
million that came in last night. So over 60 something percent daily volume on FedEx right there. So I think that's going to be worth keeping one eye on.
What a chart set up. That's porn.
Yeah, let's see. I dropped my I got fibs and stuff going. It was interesting for anyone that had checked out my video I made on Microsoft. I like fibs, and here looking at FedEx, you can see this is a 4-hour chart I just dropped in here. I drew the fibs from the red circle to the green one, and the 0.382, which is a key fib, is pretty much exactly where this dark pool came in. So I think it's going to be an interesting one to watch.
So it's interesting, and I don't want to take away from anything, but okay, so if you want to say they announced a buy, I thought they already announced a buyback on ER, but if you're looking at this, you have that massive gap that exists over there from their their ER. It did grab the 8 on the daily. And if you're also looking at it from the standpoint of being this oversold on the daily, but if you're looking at RSI and CMO just below in a potential MACD cross up on the daily, that's porn. That's bull porn, at least for me.
I think it's going to be a good watch.
It's like to me, it's bull porn. Now we'll see if there's supporting flow behind it, but it's like if I come in and I start seeing them hitting, let's say 170, 175s, going out to next month, I'm going to have no choice but to hit that based on the setup or play in and around it, even if I'm just scalping it to the upside. Now, if they're coming in on the flip side and they're sitting there wailing on 130 puts, 135 puts for that same time frame, that was just a big old sell, and it's about to get face fucked into the ground. That's just kind of the way I have to look at it. But that setup, when you're about to get a MACD cross up on the daily like that on completely oversold conditions, you can get a really, really, really strong move.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one to keep an eye on. I didn't go crazy deep diving into flow, but there was nothing this week that's come in yet that really caught my eye on FedEx, but we'll keep an eye out for it.
What are you talking about? I put those, I checked the box, their IO, and I got little blue bars thing that are some type of volume thing. What is it? What do you do? Your volume range. It's a blue bar. It's in there. Still trying to figure out what it does, but it's there. It looks neat. Trying to be one of the cool kids. You just click a button and then it comes on. Oh, cool. All right. You got anything else there, Bender?
Nope. Nothing for me.
Parkington? All right.
You ready to
I
go?
should be back on late in the day today. Should be. And otherwise, you guys have a good day, good morning. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you soon.